So I just wanted to make a little talk about the knowledge of the old school so-called experts and how much I notice from, first of all, I have ADHD anyway, so I'm very observant, noticing tiny little details of things that sometimes don't occur to other people. So you can see this picture is of Pra Khun Phaen Pong Prai Kumarn Lek Luang Phu Pim Lek, small version, in Nuea Phu or in pink. Most common people in Rayong and Chonburi, which is Rayong is where Luang Phu Tim's temple was, will not call this Nuea Phu pink clay. They will call it Nuea Poon Kin Hmak, which Poon means cement, Kin Hmak means eating betel nut, and areca nut with betel leaf, or betel nut with areca leaf. You can argue about that because nobody seems to know which is which. Anyway, we can see the front side, and what it says here is Pim Lek small, Block Raek here. Says Block Raek here, which means first block press, which is actually was the last one. What it means is the 2517BE edition, which was until recently the only really accepted edition, and very expensive, and the only officially really accepted one until a year or two ago. And so what we then see here is Nuea Phu pink powders, Sapab Soy Mag, very nice condition. And here it says Tamni Crop, all of the necessary features for a proper preferred exhibit of Block Raek of the 2517BE preferred block press. Du Ngai, easy to see, Busha, about $500, which would be cheap. Not expensive for Nuea Phu, for Poon Kin Hmak, not expensive, very cheap. So the first thing that actually, sometimes you can find one very cheap. I'm always looking for cheap ones so that I can sell one and stick a little bit on for myself. If not, why would you be selling? I don't sell at the same price I buy them. So I was looking at this. So if I'd have got this for 15,000, it would be very cheap, because you can pay up to 30,000 baht. And 15,000 is about 500 American dollars. So I would have been happy to get one of these at that price. So it could have made a decent margin on it, being honest. You don't go into business for nothing, and sometimes you can only make a little bit. But if you're an expert and you can find a very expensive amulet at a very cheap price, then good for you. You can make a good profit on it. There's no sin in that. Some of these experts, they find 1,000,000 baht amulet and they pay 100 baht for it. It doesn't mean they're going to sell it to you for 150 baht. They'll sell it to you for 1,000,000 baht. If they manage to get it for 100 baht and sell it for 1,000,000, that's their merit. Because if the normal price of such an amulet was 1,000,000 baht, well, they just got lucky, got it for a really good price. You know, if you managed to buy a Ferrari for $100, a brand new Ferrari, for some kind of miraculous reason, you wouldn't sell it for 150. You would sell it for the market price, and you'd be very happy to make some money for yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. And once in a while, I do find the odd amulet where I can do that, and that's what allows me, of course, to give amulets away for free, as I often do. My customers know they always get a free amulet with every order, sometimes more. And when I used to make my own amulets and just freshly came out of monkdom, I was getting lots and lots of amulets sent to me free from the temples. I was giving loads away. Now I usually give away one good amulet. When you buy a nice amulet, I'll give you one good amulet for free too, and take it out of my profits. Anyway, I'm digressing. Let's get back to the Khun Phaen Pong Prai Kumarn Pim Lek Nuea Phu. Tamni Crop has all of the features, the classic accepted features, which confirms it to be Block Raek, the first block press, which would mean 2517 BE, at a very good price, about half of what you might pay for one in a small Pim. The small Pim are actually roughly the same price as the large Pim. Don't think that the small one costs less, it doesn't. It's just as expensive. So here, let's continue further to see here. It says you have the Yan Kabong Kwai or Yan Kabok Kwai or Yan Ha, depending on what you want to call it, which is in the Tamra Yan Loi Pad, it's actually called Yan Ong Pra, which means the Buddha Ong Pra, the body of the Buddha. You can see 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head. And it has Nat, Mo, Pu, Ta, Ya inside it, which is the kata for the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. Then underneath it says Luang Putim. And here it says Wat Rai Wari. So as we said, you know, Luang Putim, Wat Lahan Rai. So why does it say here Wat Rai Wari? I'll tell you why. Because Wat Rai Wari was the name of the temple originally, and it was later changed to the name of Wat Lahan Rai. Not Wat Lahan Lai, like a lot of people in Singapore, Malaysia, Taiwan and Hong Kong like to say, because Thai people have a short tongue and most people pronounce the R like an L. It's Wat Lahan Rai. And this one says Wat Rai Wari. And so if you do your studies and find out when did the temple change its name from Wat Lahan Rai, this says Wat Lahan Rai. When did it change its name from Wat Rai Wari to become Wat Lahan Rai? Well, I'll tell you. The temple changed its name to Wat Lahan Rai in the year 2515 BE. Yeah? So, if this amulet says Wat Rai Wari on it, yeah, it can't have been released from the Block Raek first block press, because the Block Raek first block press, which was the last block press to be made, they just call it Block Raek because, well, I'll explain that another day. No, I'll explain it now. The experts, so-called experts, the CN, the Samakom Pra, the snobby showrooms in Bangkok, the Bangkokians who monopolized and wanted to just authenticate the edition they had their hands on and they had involvement in the making of, in collaboration, they called it the Block Raek, which means the first block press. And that was to help to, what do you call that, to discredit the previous editions, which they had nothing to do with, didn't have enough of them themselves in their own hands, and so didn't want to make them popular. They wanted to make that what they had in their hands popular. So this was named the Block Raek. Actually, it was the Block Sud Thai, the last block press, which was made in 2517 BE and released in 2517 BE, or it might have been made in 2516 and then pressed them all in 2517 around this time, the 2517 BE edition. And in 2517, the name of the temple was not Wat Rai Wari, it was Wat Lahan Rai. And so the Block Raek must say here, Wat Lahan Rai, but it doesn't. It says Wat Rai Wari, Wat Rai Wari, which means this must have been released before the temple changed its name in 2515. So you could say this might have been 2514 BE, or 2513 BE, or 2512, or 2511, or 2510 BE, or before, depending on when Luang Phu made them. But definitely not in 2517. And so this expert magazine, Chum Num Pra Khun, which has about 50 committee members, all of them supposedly experts, who guarantee authenticity to their customers, and a very luxurious format, put this amulet in there saying Tamni Krob, perfect with all of the necessary features and points of reference to authenticate this as a Block Raek 2517 BE. Bullshit. This is a 2514 or before. And the fact it says Wat Rai Wari, yeah, actually, up until a couple of years ago, an expert, if you brought it to them, a CN, not an expert, a CN Prat, the people who were controlling the market and making themselves as the only recognized experts in Bangkok, and were not from around where Wat Lahan Rai is, none of the locals, so they had much less knowledge and connection with the temple and with Luang Phu than the local people anyway. They would tell you, if I'd have taken one of these to them 3 years ago, they'd have said, this is fake, because Wat Rai Wari Luang Phu team didn't make any Khun Phaen before 2517, so this must be fake. But now they're putting this in here and saying it's a Block Raek 2517, when actually it says Wat Rai Wari, which would make it one of the editions that these people have been trying to deny the authenticity of for years. Bullshit. So first of all, this is authentic and it was released in 2514 or before, yeah. But these so-called experts in the know, 50 committee members of well-known experts, doctors and high policemen and God knows what, have been in the Samakon Prat for many years and own this magazine, which is one of the top formatted magazines on the marketplace and only sells top-class amulets, have got it wrong. Even they don't know what year Wat Rai Wari changed its name to Wat Lahan Rai. Sorry. Wat Rai Wari changed its name to Wat Lahan Rai, which proves that I know more than them, because they haven't even noticed, or if they have noticed and they know, they're trying to sell it based on false information, one or the other. If you let me guess, I would say they don't know. I would say they just don't know, and they haven't realized because they're not as observant as I am, and they haven't done their studies as much. And in those days, they didn't need to, because there was nobody else to study with, had available the information, and there was no internet for people to communicate around the area of Wat Lahan Rai, and for the local individuals, each who only had one in their possession, or who knew the truth of the story, were not able to get the messages out over the internet through their Facebook or their YouTube channel, or just chatting with each other on forums and whatever, and sharing pictures and sharing what their father told them, or their grandfather, or grandfather himself actually coming and posting. And so the game is up, boys. Luang Phu team has been making Pra Khun Phaen amulets with different block presses since at least 2510 BE, and let me guess, I would say I have actually discovered documentary evidence that he made before the year 2500 the first time, and then didn't start making again till about 2505 BE, because the first one he made in the year of his zodiac, and the one he made in the next time was 12 years later, and I think that was 2505 BE, also in the year of his zodiac. And then they just started to press, they got popular and started to keep pressing them throughout those years, right up to 2517. So this is a fantastic amulet from 2514 BE, and this price, I would pay for it definitely, most definitely, and I'd whack a little percentage on there, yeah. But it's really cheap, is this, even for 2515, 2514, which actually these editions are becoming fast, will soon be more expensive than the 2517. And this was posted some while, I think this is a year or so old, this, and in the last year prices have really risen. So if you saw this one now and a recently posted one, this price would probably be quite different. It's quite an old magazine. It's about a year old or something, I think. Anyway, there you go. This is a Khun Phaen. Block Alai Ko Mai Ru. But probably Block Song. Probably 2514. And part of the... and yes, I'm still doing some studies to find when they actually... the block press which says Wat Rai Wari, and when they changed the block press for the Khun Phaen 15, which says Wat Lahan Rai, because in 2515 they changed the name to Wat Lahan Rai. and pressed and released the 2515 BE edition Khun Phaen 15 Khun Phaen 15. And so this is a previous to the Khun Phaen 15, and so it's earlier, authentic, blessed, full of Pong Prai Kumarn and Poon Kin Hmak, and it's very, very beautiful amulet. It's a shame it's most definitely been sold, because the magazine is too old now, it's gone, and it wouldn't be this price anyway. If not, I really would have bought it. And there you go, what I worry. So it's a lie, this is wrong information. It is not a Block Raek first block press 1, and it is not Tamnik crop. Tamnik means the points of reference of authentication to prove that it belongs to this block press. Every single point of reference present in the amulet, so easy to see, easy to authenticate, do ngai. It is Tamnik crop for a 2514 BE amulet, but it is not Tamnik crop for a 2517 BE. So these famous experts, who type people have heard of since decades and definitely know better than they know me, are posting it false stated, and I have clarified what it is for myself and for you, the listener and viewer. And I would say that, those guys of that generation before the internet, who monopolized the market of Luang Pu Tim's amulets, were too lazy to really do their studies and find out every tiny little bit of historical information. I've been to the temple, I've been round speaking with all the locals, with Dr. Piseg, who has been working on revealing the truth of these matters for well over a decade now, and talked with him and know him personally, and with all of the local folk and collectors and wearers and devotees who were there at the time. And I've spent hundreds and hundreds of hours studies and examining all of the amulets, both real and fake. And I don't believe these so-called experts have spent that time. I think they just enjoyed the tiny fraction of information they had was enough to make them dominate and be the real experts for a decade or two. But that now in the age of the internet, and with crazy students like me who really delve deep, I think their era is over, or they're going to have to start studying up to catch up with the rest of us. Beautiful amulet 2514 BE Khun Phaen Pim Lek in Nuea Poon Kin Hmak, pink powders, betel areca nut powders with the chewing cement mixed in, and Pong Prai Kumarn. And Tamnik crop has all of the actual proper signs of the Pim, how the hands should be, how the legs should be, how these parts of the arch should be, if this should be a double or a single arch, if this bit, the tail, should touch the top knot of the Buddha, or if there should be a space between this letter O and this kind of stuff, that the mat should touch his shoulder or not touch it. That's what's meant by the Tamnik. Tamnik crop for a 2514, but not Tamnik crop for a Block Raek, because this is not a Block Raek block press. So there you go. I just wanted to do that, firstly because it's interesting and it makes my point, and secondly to define my authority, or to consolidate my authority of knowledge, to increase the confidence of my students that I know what I'm talking about. And if you use your logic and think about what I've said in this particular vlog or video podcast, I'm sure you can conclude that it makes sense. So there you go, Ajarn Spencer for Amulets TV, the Buddha Magic Project, signing off. Hope you enjoyed it.